A good workspace reflects your personality, is streamlined for the work you do, and is so comfortable you may never want to leave. Hi, I'm Matthew Encina. In this video, I'll take you through a tour of my workspace and the updates I've made to work from home. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to check out my previous setup from last year to see how I originally designed this space from scratch. In the past few months, I've spent more time working from home, doing video calls, creating content, thinking, reading, and writing. So I've had to find ways for my home office to evolve with me and to support the work I do in it. Over the year, I've purchased new equipment to help me do my work. My room wasn't getting any bigger, so I had to take advantage of the vertical space in it. So I took down the shelf I'd previously installed and looked for options that would expand my storage space. I took a trip to IKEA and purchased this Behr TV unit to mount above my desk. Obviously, it wasn't designed to be used this way, so installing this unit was pretty difficult to do on my own. I had to get a little inventive to keep it leveled and held in place for me to screw into the walls. I don't recommend installing it alone, but I was too impatient to wait for my wife to come home from work to help me. Once the storage unit was installed, I filled it with all of my camera gear, small tripods, and a few miscellaneous desktop accessories that I only take out on occasion. I liked the simple aesthetic and the fact that it had doors to hide any visible clutter. For my desk, I'm still using the same custom-built IKEA countertop with Alex drawer combination. The massive oak desk has held up very well and gives me so much room to work on. In the drawers, I store extra computer peripherals, cables, and hard drives. On my desktop, I've made a few upgrades to the hardware I use. At the heart of my setup is the new 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is maxed out to handle the heaviest things I throw at it. The most impressive thing on it is the built-in 8TB solid-state drive, which is a massive amount of space to hold all of my active projects. To dock my MacBook Pro, I use a vertical stand designed by 12 South to save space on my desk. I connect it to my monitor and peripherals using the small hub hidden behind the monitor, which is held in place with 3M command strips. For my audio, I use a set of Bluetooth Audio Engine speakers, which are connected to both my Mac and PC. They deliver a rich, beautiful sound for me to monitor the audio of my edits or to listen to peaceful music in the background while I work. Previously, I used the MX Craft keyboard and MX2 mouse, which I loved. But the fine folks at Logitech gave me a free upgrade to their latest, and I couldn't say no. These are just slight improvements from the previous generation. The next thing I updated was my monitor setup. Based on a few of the suggestions I received on my previous video, I decided to install an adjustable monitor arm to create a little more space on my desktop. The setup allows the monitor to move forward and back, rotated 90 degrees for a vertical setup, and can be angled in different directions. Because the monitor arm is so sturdy, I found it useful to mount other devices on it as well. You'll see how throughout the video. One thing I didn't have in my setup previously was decent lighting, so I installed several Hue lights in my space, starting with a set of Philips Hue play lights behind my monitor for great bias lighting to reduce my eye strain for when I work. Because these lights have a full RGB spectrum, they also allow me to change the practical lighting in my space. This gives me different backgrounds when I'm recording content, all of which I can control from the app on my phone. Since I do a lot of video calls from home, quality is very important to the people I connect with. To level up my setup, I use this Magewell adapter, which allows me to use my DSLR camera as a webcam. It converts the HDMI output from the camera into a USB signal for my laptop to read. To mount my DSLR camera, I added another monitor arm and modified it to hold a tripod extender with a ball head on top. I learned this hack from Caleb Pike, which I'll leave a link to in the description below. To capture my voice, I have a Rode microphone at the end of an articulate arm, which I position a few inches away from my mouth. This is connected to my laptop using this TRRS splitter to separate my mic and headphone jack. This setup gives me a beautiful looking sound and picture on conference calls. When not in use, the camera slides off the mount, the tripod extender retracts down and out of sight. Everything is put away in my storage unit overhead and on my pegboard, which holds my most commonly used cables and adapters. One thing I was missing from my setup was a filing cabinet for my documents. I was looking for a solution that would fit my space and match the white and wood aesthetic of my office. Luckily, my friends over at Ergonoffice came to the rescue and sent me their neat filing cabinet. The configuration I got has a beautiful solid maple wood face with white details. I use this to store all of my important paper documents for taxes, health, and home. The neat filing cabinet sits on casters, so I can roll it out of the way if I need more space to access my closet. When it comes to styling the space, I made a few changes to give my office a fresh look. The left side of my desk was feeling a little bare, so I wanted to balance things out. I installed a few of these steel shelves on my wall to display a few of my books, as well as a collection of vintage cameras I purchased over the years. I also utilized the top of the storage unit to hold a few more cameras and a few magazines I've been referencing recently. To the right of my desk, I updated the artwork to better match the look of the space. On the other side of my office, it hasn't changed much since I originally designed it. It's still the home of my collectibles, books, and records. And that's my updated workspace. I expect it to continue to evolve as I work more in this space or feel the need for a little refresh. If you're interested in anything you see in the video, I've left links for everything in the description. I'm considering making a separate video about my organization systems for all of my tools and gear. Let me know in the comments if that's something you're interested in. If you have any other suggestions for videos you'd like to see from me, let me know in the comments below. And if you have any questions, ask them and I'll do my best to answer. With that out of the way, it's time to get back to work.